So continuing on with our circle chapter, what we learned a couple days ago was the standard form of the equation of a circle looks like this. X minus the x coordinate of the center squared plus y minus the y coordinate of the center squared is equal to the radius squared. So if we have the equation starting off looking like this up here, which is x squared plus y squared plus 4x minus 8y plus 4 equals 0. There's our equation of a circle. For recognition that this is indeed a circle equation, if they didn't tell us it was a circle equation, you'll notice what makes it a circle is that both x and y are squared. They have the same coefficient and they're the same sign. Okay, so we recognized a parabola in that form, in general form, that we had only x was squared or y was squared, not both of them squared. That made a parabola. If both are squared, same coefficient, same sign, you're looking at a circle. So our task will be to modify the equation in its current structure to create this standard form structure that we know. And the technique will be similar to what we did with parabolas with slight differences. First thing I'm going to point out, in case this should happen, is you cannot have coefficients. You need to have 1x squared and 1y squared. If it is that, fine. If it is not 1x squared and 1y squared, your very first step will be divide by whatever's in front of x squared and y squared. So if it said 3x squared plus 3y squared, you divide everything by 3. Even if it makes 4/3 and 8/3 and 4/3, if ugliness shows up in your problem, 1x squared and 1y squared is required to be able to do this. So if it's not that way, make sure that's your very first step. Okay, after you get the coefficients worked out, so they are what they're supposed to be, which they are in this case, our next step is similar to the parabola idea. It's a rearrangement of things. In parabolas, I did separation. Here, I'd maybe put it more like grouping. All right, I want everything about x together, everything about y together, and everything that's not x or y on the other side. So looking at this, x squared and 4x are all about x. I'm going to put them together. Y squared and negative 8y are all about y. I'm going to put those together. 4 is neither x nor y, so it's going to move to the other side. So that's step one in the process of going from general form into standard form. So if I do that, my paper is going to look like this. X squared plus 4x, leave a little bit of space. Then I'm going to put plus y squared minus 8y, leave a little bit of space, put equals, and then 4 moves across the equal sign, becomes its opposite, negative 4. So that's our first step in the getting from general to standard form structure. X's get grouped, Y's get grouped, numbers get moved to the other side. Everything staying on the left stayed the sign it was. X squared was positive, it's still positive. 4x was positive, it's still positive. Y squared was positive, it's still positive. 8y is negative, it's still negative. 4 is positive, moved across, became negative. So again, everything that stays the same sign. Everything that moves changes signs. Our next step is completing the square, which is the exact same technique we did with parabolas. But we have 2 squares to complete instead of just 1. So this number in front of x is 4. Half of 4 is 2, and 2 squared is 4. So I'm going to do plus 4 to fix this. If I plus 4 on this side, I have to plus 4 on the other side. That takes care of the x perfect square trinomial. I need to make a y perfect square trinomial as well. And looking at y, the number in front of y is 8. Again, don't worry about the sign, just worry about the number. Half of 8 is 4, and 4 squared is 16. So plus 16 is going to fix this one. Plus 16 on this side makes plus 16 on that side. So it's the exact same idea as it was with parabolas. We just have to do it twice because there's 2 parentheses squared we need to make. An x1 and a y1. Okay, so that's step 2, complete the square. Make sure both sides get added. Plus 4, plus 4, plus 16, plus 16. These numbers are magic numbers. I can't just add any random number off the street. I have to make them, right? Half of the number in front of x, 2, 2 squared, 4. Half the number in front of y, 4, 4 squared is 16. So again, there's exact numbers we need to add, but we have to do it to both sides. Then we're trying to create these structures, so parentheses squared, okay? We need a letter, a sign, and a number. We come from these three pieces up here, so I'm looking at this expression. The letter is the letter, the sign is the sign of the second term, the number is the square root of the third term. First term tells you letter, second term tells you sign, third term square root tells you number. X plus 2. We do the same thing for the y squared object. Notice it's x plus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. I said x plus x minus h squared plus y minus k squared equals r squared. Okay. The sign doesn't really matter. That's just the structure we're creating. So there's a plus sign, then another parentheses squared. Okay. This is what I'm trying to factor. This gives me the letter, this gives me the sign, this gives me the number. Letter is y, the sign is minus, the square root of 16 is 4. Over on this side, those numbers add up to whatever they add up to. I don't care what they add up to. They just add up to some number. So negative 4 plus 4 is 0 plus 16 is 16. And now we're in standard form. Rearranged grouping. So put the x's together, put the y's together, put the number on the other side. Complete the squares. Factor the left objects, add the right objects, and you're in standard form. Once we're in standard form, it says find the center and radius of the circle. So the center is the opposite of this number and the opposite of that number. Because again, the formula says minus h and minus k, which means these are the numbers, but they're the wrong sign. So change the sign, change the sign. The radius squared is whatever that is. So radius squared is equal to 16, so the radius is equal to, what's the radius? 4. So that's the two things I need to know. It says find the center and radius. I've found the center and radius. Okay. Since I am graphing, I'd like to get a decimal approximation if it wasn't an exact number. So square root of 16, of course, is 4. If it was square root of 15, use a calculator to get me a decimal approximation, whatever that is. All right. Once we got the center and radius, which is one of the requests, the other request is to graph the circle. So graph the circle, I plot the center first. Negative 2, 4 is 2 left and 4 up. What's wrong? Are you sure?
Yeah.
You confused about something?
No, I understand.
Okay, all right. If you're confused, I'd rather answer it now. But
no, I was just asking, like, if for the R we go over 4 over for each.
Oh yeah, we're going to go over 4 after we plot the center. So we plot the center first, use that as a reference point for all the radii, right? So the radius is 4, we're going to go right, up, left, and down from the center. So my center's here, negative 2, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right. 1, 2, 3, 4 down, 1, 2, 3, 4 left, and 1, 2, 3, 4 up. Connect the dots with as pretty a circle as you can make, trying to hit all 4 points in the process. All right. So if you're asked to graph the circle, graph it. If you're not asked to graph the circle, you of course can just give me the center and radius, and then you'd be done with it.